So in 1996, you started in the Larry Sanders Show, and I was curious what it was like working with Garry Shandling, and I'm even more curious if David Duchovny is as cool in person as he seems to be.
Well, I have to say, one thing that's very different about David Duchovny is that he's super educated. And I never told people I was educated in LA because it would separate me from them. In our job, not only do you not need to have a college degree, you could be seen as a moron for wasting your youth in college. And certainly you wouldn't have a graduate degree. You'd have to be 150 years old to have a graduate degree. So I just didn't talk to people about my education. And when I met David, his brother directed commercials. I'm sure he still does. And so they were both, guys who worked a lot. And they're just smarty pants. They're super smart, and they stand out in that crowd because they're also super educated. Mm-hmm. And that's just it's not the norm there. A lot of the agents and behind the scenes people might be educated, but for actors, it's not part of the process. It's not part of the road.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that. I'm a Southerner by heritage, but I grew up on the East Coast. And so it was kind of nice to meet a sort of an East Coasty kind of person with the same sort of upbringing I had and the same sort of values I had been raised with in that way. So yes, I very much enjoyed working with him. Garry and I originally met, I can't remember if I originally met him at Ivana Chubbuck's acting studio, where he was a very longtime friend of Ivana Chubbuck, who was my coach. And so I can't remember if I met him there because he used to come audit the class sometimes. Or I think the first time I met him in person was at Kevin Costner's house. And he angered me. And so I hit him on the head. And then he did it again.
Was it like a boop or like a full on?
He was sitting down and I was standing up, so I just went on his forehead.
Like a dog. No. Okay.
It had some weight behind it. And then he did it again, so I did it again. I hit him twice. And about a week later, I get the call to go in and read for his show. And I was like, oh, like I wasn't entirely sure how that was all going to go. But, the first call, you don't meet any producers or stars or you just meeting casting people. So I went to the casting and I'm sitting in the waiting room and he comes in probably to check out the talent, but anyway, he comes in, he peeks around the room, he looks at all the girls, and then he sees me and he goes, and you could tell he was trying to place me. And I was like, yeah, we met at Kevin's a week or so ago. And he's like, you come to my office after you audition. And I was like, okay. So he goes back to his office. I do my audition. It goes pretty well. And then afterward, and in the time that I should be going, yes, in the bathroom or something, I am now being called down to the principal's office. And I walk in and he made me promise that if I got the job that I wouldn't strike him anymore. So I did. And I got the job and we had a great time together. I really loved working with him. And, over the years I would run into him quite a bit because like I said, he was Ivana's friend and he just was around town. We had a lot of mutual friends. And the last time I ran into him, he was coming out of a building I was going into to audition. And I think he was an incredible comic. He was a smarty pants, and he really contributed so much to our legacy of comedy and storytelling. And I wish that during this pandemic, both of his series had made the rounds because they're both so good.
Yeah.
Like, really good television.
Yeah. Larry Sanders Show is very ahead of its time. Like, shows are just now doing
so
that.
The Garry Shandling Show. That was great too.
Yeah.
Why don't you subscribe? It'll last longer.